Hashem Natzliach. Thank you everyone for coming. We are in the Sefer Olam Hamidot, learning about Midot, and we are starting Simcha, as we promised last week. So let's see how we could be happy. First of all, it says in Tehillim, Ivdu et Hashem besimcha, bo'u lefanav birnana. There's a pasuk, explicit pasuk that says you must serve Hashem with joy. Come before Him, birnana. Renana is another word for joy, happiness. As you know, in Lashon HaKodesh, there is no synonyms. Like, in English you could say happiness, joy, and they're all the same. But in Lashon HaKodesh you have simcha, gila, rina, ditza, chedva. And each one of those, right, are a different connotation, different level of joy, different different level of joy and different level of happiness, and that's what it is. So over here it says, "Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha," serve Hashem with simcha and come before Him birnana. Renana is a deeper level of happiness. That's what it is. Now, it says in the pasuk, famous pasuk, I'm sure you all know it, in Parshat Kitavo. Parshat Kitavo, it says, if you don't keep the mitzvot, chas v'shalom, this and this and this and this and this and this will happen. There is a bunch of not such a nice things that if you go through them, it's pretty depressing. But then the Torah says, Tachat asher lo ahavta et Hashem Elohecha besimcha uvtuv levav merov kol. This all happens because you didn't serve Hashem Elohecha with joy. That means the person served Hashem. The person did the mitzvot. The person learned Torah, but they didn't do it through joy and happiness. Besimcha uvtuv levav, and with a good heart. Merov kol. So there is a demand, there is an obligation that a person must serve Hashem through simcha. Right? That means if a person doesn't serve Hashem through simcha, that's a negative. That shows that he's not serving Hashem. That's what the Persian explaining right there. So not only that, midah of simcha, this attribute of joy, is the key for all the good midot. Follow? Happiness is the key for all the good midot. It says in Pirkei Avot. It's a very interesting insight. Comes Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was the leader of the Jews at the time of the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash. He led the Jews for 40 years. For 40 years he led the Jews. He lived 120 years. And the last 40 years of his life, he led the Jews. He saved them. He carried them throughout the destruction and everything. He had 5 top students. One was Rabbi Eliezer, and one was Rabbi Yeshua Rabbi Chanina, one was Rabbi Shimon, not Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, different Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, and Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. There were the 5. So there's a few things over there. He depicted who each one was. We'll skip that. He told his students, Tseu, go out, Ur'u, and see what is the derech yeshara, what is the straight path that a person must cling to. Right? Tseu ur'u mahu derech yeshara sheyidbak bo adam. Right? So each one comes back and says his findings. Tseu means go out. I want you to go do research, go into the world and see and understand and figure this out. So comes Rabbi Eliezer, that was his top student. Rabbi Eliezer comes, Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus, the Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva. He comes and says, Ayin Tova. Ayin Tova, that's a good eye. That means you look at everything in a positive view. That is the best thing that a person should do in life. Rabbi Yeshua comes along and says, Chaver Tov. To find the good one, that one good friend. Rabbi Yossi says, Shachen Tov, a good neighbor. Rabbi Shimon says, Haroeh et Hanolad, the one who sees the outcome of his actions. The last one was Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, and he says, Lev Tov. He says Lev Tov. What's a Lev Tov? A good heart. He took his medicals, and he, Baruch Hashem, the results came good. Strong heart. That's the best thing. No, that's not the pshat. That's not the understanding. Rabbi Elazar says That's the one. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, what he's saying is inclusive of everything that you people said. Shebichlal devarav divrechem. That means he is containing everything that you guys said is there. That means that lev tov, that good heart, contains everything. Says the Tiferet Israel, one of the prominent commentators on Mishnayot, and he says there on Pirkei Avot on that Mishnah. This is in the second parak of Pirkei Avot, Mishnah Tet. He says, Lev Tov is that his heart is always happy. Shelibo tamid sameach. His heart is always happy. Umzuman lehetiv lakol. And he's ready to do good to others. Two things. Number one, he is always happy. Number two, he's ready to do good to others. And through this, his joy, helps, his brain will be sharp, like boiling up, like a well that comes up. That's how he writes. That's how he depicts what a Lev Tov is. He's happy, he wants to do good to others, and through this, his mind, his brain sharpens. Wow. It's an amazing insight into what a Lev Tov is and how this Lev Tov will bring a person to good midot, to everything else that's good. When a person works on this, it doesn't come easy. We're going to discuss it later. Now, the midah of simcha is very, very powerful. Again, we'll go back to David HaMelech. He says to Hashem, Batzar hirchavta li. That's a pasuk in Tehillim Perek Dalet. Batzar hirchavta li, that means when I was in stress, Batzar, hirchavta li, you freed me, you made me free. And says Rav Shmuel Yaakov Sofer, that when a person is in tsar, he's in pain, he feels confined, he's under stress, he feels confined, he's like in jail, and he doesn't have the strength to withstand whatever goes on in his life or in the world. But when a person is happy, then he gains strength. He feels he's a free person. And then he has the ability to take over all the tests and all the tribulations and all the hard things that come his way. He's able to take them with joy and happiness. That's what happiness does to a person. When a person is sad though, he's confined. He feels like he's bound, right? He feels depressed. When a person is depressed, even little things seem big, right? And when a person is besimcha, he has simcha, then even the great things look little to him, right? When a person is depressed, he is so within himself, so into himself, and his world becomes very confined. Well, when a person is happy, he's not within himself, he looks out, and he's worried, he takes care of everybody else around him, and that's what David HaMelech says, Batzar, when I was depressed, when I was confined, when I was under stress, hirchaftali, you freed me. That means there's a freedom when a person comes out of it. When a person is happy and joyous, he comes out of it. He says, there's no comparison. A midah of a person when he is happy than when he is depressed. When a person is happy, it is much easier for him to be able to take over for his negative midot. Let's say a person is an angry person. A person is a jealous person, right? When he has happiness, these things won't be able to overtake him. The opposite is also true. That when a person is careful from jealousy and anger, much easier for him to be happy. They work hand in hand. He says also, through simcha, a person is able to really, really work on his good mitzvot, to be able to treat other people with love, with respect. When a person is happy, he is able to bring happiness to other people, which is an amazing mitzvah. There is I'm sure you heard this story. The story is brought in Masechet Ta'anit Daf Chaf Bet. There was a Chacham, his name was Rav Broka. Rav Broka He used to, from the city of Mechuzah, from a certain city, there was one market that he would frequent in that marketplace. It's not like a store. And he would be there a lot. And you know who was his companion? Guess. Eliyahu Navi. Eliyahu Navi liked him. He still was hanging out with him. Hey, what's up, Rabbi Mechuzah? Rabbi Baroka. And one time he saw him, he said, tell me, is there anyone here that has Olam Haba? He says, he scans the whole area. He says, no. He says, oh, wait, there's one guy. That guy points at him. He runs over to him and asks him, like, that's a long story. So he says, as he was finding out about this guy, asking him questions, like, tell me, what do you do? How did you achieve Olam Haba? So, he was like pretty much done, says goodbye, thank you very much. Right away, Eliyahu Navi says, do you see those two brothers? They also have Olam Haba. So that's where our story comes in. He runs over to them, he says, what do you guys do? He says, look, you know what we do? Amru le, inshe beduche anan. We are happy people. Mevadchinan atzive. What we do is, we see people that are sad, that are depressed. We make them happy. We joke with them. We make them happy. Or, they said, inami, ki chazinan beitere de itlehu tigra. When we know two people have a fight, what do? Tarchinan. We joke with them, through good moods and everything, we make shalom between them. Rashi says, right there, he says, what does it mean, beduche? The word beduche, I translate it as, like, we joke, we're happy. Rashi says, hainu shesemechim. They themselves are happy, and they make other people happy. Eliyahu Navi says, that zichut is what brings them to Olam Haba. There, of all the people in the market, hundreds of people, they have Olam Haba. Right? So what do you see? You see how important is this midah of simcha, this attribute of happiness, that a person has to acquire happiness, right, for himself, to make sure that he is happy, that he is content, he is good, in order to be able to bring joy and happiness to others. Right there on that piece of Gemara, Masachet Ta'anit, the Maharsha, one of the major commentators, he brings a Mishnah. He brings a Mishnah in Masachet Sanhedrin. The Mishnah says that when a person is sad and a person is depressed, the Shekhinah says, Kalani meroshi. It's the slang of saying, like, in Farsi they say, ay, that's to saram sangine, like, as if I feel heavy. So to speak, the Shekhinah of Hashem, the presence of Hashem is saying that, like, I feel heavy because why? Why is my child not happy? Why is my child not, why is he depressed? Why? And he says, I heard the explanation to that is that on the other hand, and when a person makes other people happy, is bringing happiness and joy to Shekhinah of Hashem. When a person is happy, he's bringing Shekhinah into the world. He says, a person who is happy, everyone wants to hang out with him. Right? He's like a magnet. He draws people towards him. Why is that? The answer is simple. People want to be happy. People like to be happy. And when you're within a person's vicinity who is happy, you get affected. It's contagious. Happiness is contagious. You feel good. You feel happy. Right? That's why with happiness, that's one of the best ways to bring Jews closer to Torah and mitzvot. When other people see, wow, look at this, the way of the Torah is through happiness, through joy, through pleasantness. Like, they want to become that because they see it brings the happiness. If Chas v'Shalom they see someone who's a Ben Torah, he's always Tisha B'Av, he's always depressed, he's like always like, they say, what is this? Who needs this? I don't want to hang out with these people. So it's a very big responsibility for a person, for his own sake, that, he has to make sure that the person is happy. Says the Kuzari that a person comes much, much, much closer to Hashem through joy and happiness than through fasting and then crying. He says that's not the way you come close to Hashem. You come close to Hashem through happiness and joy. Sefer Kuzari is the Sefer of Hashkafa in Judaism. That's what Kuzari is. Now, many people make a mistake, and they think that happiness is something that comes automatic, right? Meaning to say, something good happens, Baruch Hashem, automatically you're happy. And if God forbid something bad happens, a tragedy happens, the person is not happy, he's depressed. It is a huge mistake. The truth is that happiness is all in the mind of a person. And it's a midah. It's actually a behavior that a person has to work on to achieve. Like other midot. We've gone through, how many midot did we go through so far? Emet, kavod, ka'as, and kin'ah. Right? 4. And all of them, we showed how hard it is, but we have to acquire it. We have to work on it. It doesn't just happen like, a guy gets an injection, okay, I'm happy now. Maybe some people, yeah. But he says, really, this is a midah that a person must acquire. There are some people that naturally they're more happy. There are some people that naturally are less happy. But we have the ability to change ourselves. And that is the goal of our life. Like we've been mentioning throughout this book, the goal of our life is to change and to fix our midot. And there is nothing that could stand on a person's path, right, if he really wants to take over his own midot. If a person wants to be happy, will be happy. Now we're going to see a few different methods of how to plant this midah within our hearts. Now, the next part is actually brought down also much more at length in Sefer Michtav Eliyahu. Actually, the first Sefer Michtav Eliyahu is written by Rav Eliyahu Dessler, who was the mashgiach in England. Then he became the mashgiach of Yeshiva in Panovich. He was definitely one of the biggest Gedolei Hador in the previous generation. Throughout World War II, he was in England. Then after that, he came to Eretz Israel, and his books that are written by his students, they're all gathering of his letters and different shiurim that he gave by Aryeh Carmel and others. It's called Michtav Eliyahu. It was translated to English by Rav Aryeh Carmel, also striving for the truth. So his book actually begins with this simcha, this part of simcha. And he says like this, it's pretty much a quote from there. He doesn't write it, but okay. Rabbi Kistenbaum didn't write it here, but it's very similar. He says the whole world is busy looking for happiness, right? You ask everyone, like, they say, you want to be happy? Everyone wants to be happy. He says, but not many people find happiness. He says, let me give you an example. A young man, he is working 20 hours a day. He's working so hard. You ask him, why are you working so hard? What's going on? He says, what do you mean? I want a lot of money. I want to make a lot of money. He goes, okay, what do you need so much money for? He goes, I want to buy a big house. I want to buy a nice car. So you ask him, okay, you bought a big house. You bought a nice car. Now what? He says, then I'll be happy. So it comes out that all the hard work and everything that he's doing, he wants to achieve happiness. But the truth is, even when he buys his big house, and even when he gets his new car, his gorgeous car, right? He's going to be happy. He's going to want more. He's going to want more. That's how it is. Our Chachamim explain in the Midrash. Midrash is in Kohelet Rabbah. It says, Yesh lo maneh, person has $100, right? Rotzeh matayim, he wants 200. It's a very deep concept. That means when a person has 100, he wants 200. When he has 200, he wants 400. That's how it is. Because once you achieve that, right? We're going to explain why. He says his whole life, he's going to think, oh, I need a little bit more, then I'll be happy. I need a little bit more. So he'll never have that. He'll never achieve it because he's always searching for more. And that's how the Western culture is built. Capitalism, all these things, they're built on this notion. He says, how do we understand this, that our Chachamim explain, that if a person has 100, he wants 200. He says, why does he want 100? It's not that he needs that 100. It's because he wants that 100. right? So that means he's going after his desire. So when he achieves it, the desire doesn't go away, the desire stays. Right? You want it, you don't need it. It's a want. So the want always stays. It doesn't go away. Okay, I got 100. Wow, I still want. So that desire, that what a person wants, it's a physical thing, and it doesn't just go away. So okay, Chazak Baruch, I got this 100, but then I want that 100 doesn't satisfy that want, doesn't satisfy that desire. You need more. You need to double it up now. You're not gonna want just another 100. You want another 200. And that's why our Chachamim are teaching us, if this person will never achieve what he wants, because deep within a person he still has the desire which he never got rid of. He never got to the root of it, so he'll never be happy, right? And so we need to get to the root of the sickness, and the root of it is that ta'ava, that desire that a person has to run after the empty things of this world. He says the truth is that many times, you talk to people that are like chasing after their desires, you stop them, you say, hey, what are you doing? Their answer should be, I'm trying to achieve happiness. But they're so into it, they forget. They forget that they're really looking for happiness. So, if you stop them and you ask them, okay, what did you accomplish? You did so much. What did you accomplish? Are you happier now than before you started? If you stop and think, you know what their answer will be? They're even less happy. That's how it is. When a person is running after something so much and he forgets, he says, if a person stops for a minute and just thinks, right, he will see that these things, these outside things, won't bring him happiness. Happiness comes from within, from inside a person. If a person wants to be happy, he has to be happy with everything that he has right now. Chachamim tell us, Eizehu Ashir, who is a wealthy person? That's a Sameach Bechelko. He is not content with what he has. You know what he is? He's a Sameach. He's happy with his chelik. What does it mean, his chelik, his portion? That means he understands this is what Hashem gave me, and I'm happy with it. Because if Hashem gave me this, then I'm happy with it. But if he's relying on outside things to make him happy, it'll never work. And the Yetzer Hara comes and blinds a person to make sure that he chases and chases and chases, and he doesn't even know what he's chasing after. So that's where we are. Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem will continue next week to try to be more happy. Okay, a couple of halachot. Again, I would like to say halachot that we say here in the kashrut. People have different levels of kashrut, and they should certainly keep those levels. We're just going to talk about Shulchan Aruch, right? We're going to talk about Shulchan Aruch. We are focused on that to see what is the minimum requirement, what does the Shulchan Aruch want, and then different people that accepted upon themselves different stringencies and different chumros in halacha, so be it. It's not a problem. We are at an oven. Let's say you have an oven. What's the problem with an oven? Okay? We don't cook in an oven. We bake in a baking pan, right? You don't put the food on the oven walls or the bottom of the oven. Let's remember. So that means that your oven is not, whoa, no, I can't touch this oven. You have these days the modern things they have, like, you have two separate ovens in one unit. They're totally separate. They're two different compartments. You could use one for dairy and one for meat. No problem. We're not going to say, oh, the steam is going to go from one to the other. We're not worried about that because they're totally two separate compartments, and we're fine. You could use one for meat, one for dairy. But if you have only one compartment and you would like, you made a pot roast in your oven and you would like to use it to make pizza, can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Best thing is wait 24 hours. Once you wait 24 hours, whatever may have been absorbed into the walls are going to be pagum. Pagum means they're blemished. They're no good. Right? What may have been absorbed there is called ze'ah. It's sweat. These things have liquid. These things have moisture, and the moisture evaporated and got absorbed into the walls. And we are afraid that this, which got absorbed into the walls, are now going to seep back into my pizza. I have a pizza pie there, right? And it's going to seep back in there. I have meat mixed with milk. Let's look at this. Okay, if you let 24 hours pass, whatever is there is pagum. Look inside your oven to make sure there are no pieces of meat there. Pieces of meat are going to be trouble, right? Make sure it's clean. Once it's clean, make sure you clean it, right? Take something to clean up the oven, the whole inside of the oven, to make sure there is no fat attached or food remnants in there. Not enough to be necessarily a very thorough cleaning. And then turn the oven on, about a half hour on the highest temperature. That'll burn off whatever is left in the walls of the oven. And then you're good to go. And then you could use the oven for pizza, right? For sure, remember, don't use the same pans that you used for the steak or the pot roast. As for the pizza, obviously, you use different pans, but then your oven is good to go. What if you don't have 24 hours to wait? Your kids want dinner, right? And it was only 10 hours ago that you had the pot roast. I don't know how does that work, but okay. They had it the night before. Now in the morning you want to have it. You want to heat up the lasagna. What then, right? So within 24 hours. Also, there is a way to do it. We're strictly halacha. Again, we're not. If a person wants to be machmir, by all means, strictly halacha. Best thing to do here, to clean it up, this time using chemicals and soaps and all these things that really make everything pagum. The 24-hour period that we said to wait, that is what makes it pagum, that means blemished. Now, using chemicals, we're going to do that. Right? Spray it all over, make sure it gets all over the place and it gets nice and clean and everything. Turn the oven on for half hour, burn everything that might be left there, and then you can use it for dairy. There is more leniencies. I'm not going to go into it. Now, there is one thing that we have to understand also between Ashkenazim and Sephardim. There is one thing that's called Nat Barnat Dehetera. What's Nat Barnat? Nat Barnat means Noten Tam, Bar Noten Tam. That means something that gives tastes, and then there is another thing that gives taste, and everything is mutar. I know I'm talking gibberish. Let's bring an example. You have a pot. Inside the pot, you made, what's a good meat dish? You made sloppy joe. Sloppy joe is good. What is that? Anyone knows what sloppy joe is? Okay, it's ground meat and onions and all the other things, all the good stuff. I want real meat. So you made it. You made that food in there, and then you cleaned it real well. There is nothing left, no remnants of the food. It's scrubbed and it's clean. There is nothing on it. Okay? Then, in the morning, she wants to make pasta in this pot. Or rice. Choose, whatever you want. And with the pasta, they want to put cheese. You cook the pasta in that same pot, and you take it out of the pot, and now you want to put cheese all over it. Hot pasta. You want to put cheese all over it. Are you allowed to?
Not within 24 hours.
This is within 24 hours. This is where Nat Barnat kicks in. The meat, the meat gave taste to the pot. The pot is clean. There is no meat in the pot. Listen very carefully. There is no meat in the pot. There is no grease on the pot. The meat, there's a taste. At most, there is a taste of the meat in the pot. The pot gave taste to the pasta, right? It's It takes 2 buses, okay? And now you want to put cheese on the pasta. The pasta is very far from the meat. Maran Shulchan Aruch writes, even lechatechila, even if you want to do it right, not that, oh, I made a mistake, this happened, what do I do? No. Lechatechila, a person wants to do it, no problem, could do it. Right? This is all conditioned. We said, nat barnat, that's noten ta'am. The meat gave ta'am, taste, to the pot. That's noten ta'am. Bar noten ta'am, the pot gave taste to the pasta. That's another bus. Behetera, everything was mutar. That means your meat was totally kosher, everything was fine. It gave taste to the pot. Your pasta is also heter, and that's it. So now your pasta is okay to put cheese over the hot pasta, or if you cooked rice and you want to put yogurt on that hot rice and eat it. Okay, the same. Not in the pot. Not in the pot. You take it out of the pot, you put it in the paper plate, let's say, and you want to put cheese on it, that's fine. Okay, because there is no connection between the dairy and the meat. If a person were to put the dairy in the pot, then it's only noten ta'am. There's only one bus. It's too close to each other, and that would be asur. Because you have the taste of the meat, which is swallowed up in the pot, getting mixed in with the dairy. Then we have an issue. That's asur. But otherwise, lefi, according to the Shulchan Aruch, it's not a problem.
This is the pot that the sloppy Joe was made in it?
That's correct. That's correct.
You just clean the oven, but not the pot.
So this is the pot. We're not talking about the oven.
But because you said you clean the oven.
The oven is even easier. We finished. We moved away from the oven. Oven is even easier because the oven doesn't come in contact with the food. This is the actual pot that came in contact with the food. Another example. You have a frying pan. Not the Teflon. I'm not talking about Teflon. You have a frying pan that you made schnitzel. Okay? You fry schnitzel in it. And or hamburgers. Right? You cleaned it real well. You got to make sure that there's nothing left. None of those brown spots. Nothing. It's really, really, really clean. Right? No dirty at all. And it's not greasy at all. And you want to make eggs. And then you take the eggs, put them on the plate. Hot eggs. You want to put cheese on them? No problem. Rav Yosef,
24 hours.
Within 24 hours. This is what I'm telling you. Rav Yosef says it in Yabia Omer Chelek Yud. He says this. Even lechatechila, a person could do it.
Can you put the cheese in the pan?
No, that we said. That would be noten ta'am once. We need another bus. Noten ta'am, bar noten ta'am. Remember this rule. Not bar not. This is Shulchan Aruch. Ramah Haggad says that the Ashkenazim are stringent. They only rely on this if it already happened. If a person comes to you and says, "Oh no, I put cheese on the eggs. What do I do?" I say, "Okay, go eat. It's fine." If you were Sephardi, I would tell you, do it. Even lechatchila. Okay? We should all do teshuvah. Okay. Thank you.